back? Are we back? Are we live now? It looks like we're live. I don't know what happened. Is it still the same stream? I'm trying to figure this out. We might have just had some technical issues, but it looks like we're live again. I think we're live again. Hello. Stream got disconnected there. Sorry guys, not really sure what you heard last then. Hopefully this is still the same stream. Hello, man. I don't know how much of the delay is on here or how long a chat would take to come through. Are we back? Are we live? Marty is a mediocre moderator at best here with his communication skills. Liberty and Trust, where are you? Might have to make you a mod. Current viewers, somebody's back. Okay, so we are live. Is this the same stream? Hopefully it just got reconnected. Yeah, okay. Live now. Marty, the mediocre moderator, is back. Yo, next time just say you are not live. Disconnection. I don't know what I'm doing here. Just trying to learn. So where did it leave off? I don't even know when I stopped talking to you guys then. And what I was saying. It's all done bunged up. It's all done bunged up now. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Are we still connected to the same live stream there, Marty? Like the thumbnail, everything's good? Like I really don't... I can't see everything. I don't really know what's going on here. We're trying to figure this out. Marty? Yeah, we may need another moderator. Mediocre Marty ain't freaking really communicating very well with me here. I'm not sure where we left off or what you guys heard. I'm not sure how long I was disconnected there for. And we're getting back at it. So $41,297, just breaking the 61.8% fib level. And we, like I said, I do feel we have this chance at the 78.6% fib level at $50,111, just as the SPX recovered. So we now see that double top on yeah, so we now see that double top over top of the 78.6% fib level. We had this breakout just like we are right now on BTC at the 61.8% fib, and away we went. We got the double top, and we're off to the races. So back to open the chat. Open what chat? I'm looking at the chat. Bruh. Anyways, might have to just have someone in my ear because that's distracting. So Bitcoin, back to the fib chart. Here we are, just cracking the 61.8% fib over the weekend here. But what I didn't like to see was not a solid retest, but also this being a line of resistance that I was watching. It's also a healthy breakout with, you know, somewhat of a little retest here, but this was a lot of buying pressure. This thing just went right up. So when we got through the 39.5 resistance, like I was talking about last year, it just broke right through. There's nothing really here. So not a lot of players coming in. This is just traders fluctuating, people DCA in, and the price is just kind of fluttering here now that we've peaked out 42,000 and probably licked a few $100 million worth of shorts, which I love to see, because you really shouldn't be betting against Bitcoin. You just shouldn't bet against Bitcoin. So I love to see it. Love to see it. And everyone thought that this year was a bull trap, but we got a couple of bear traps here, right? And that's it. And bear traps are just lopsided balls for y'alls. So eat them up. Eat them up. Eat my shorts. We're eating your shorts right now. That's awesome. Love it. But are we going to see the 78.6% fib level? I really think that's a possibility, but I think that would be it for the year. I'm going to try and turn this music down a little more, and we'll try to get these volume levels dialed in. What do you think of that compared voice to music? I think we've had the music a bit loud here. Turn it down a little. We want like minus 45 dB maybe. How's that? How's the music? How's the music sound? Was it a little too loud before? Is it better now? Is it better? Eating shorts, cake and shorts. Yeah, I do eat cake. I do eat cake once in a while. Yeah, I'm not a huge cake guy. I don't like chocolate cake. But I do like a good angel food cake. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, music was too loud, but oh shit, let's just crank it up. I didn't mean to do that. It's a little sensitive. Hang on one sec. I think minus 45 dB is the ticket there. Somewhere around there. Let's try that. I need more monitors now. I thought I had enough monitors, but I think I might need one more. That's better. Music much better, sir. Thank you. Yeah. So it's too loud. And that music, that's all right. So I'm just trying to do original music and not get any copyright things happening, so we don't have issues or things with our stream getting blocked. So we want to make sure we use our original tunes. Marty and I are actually, we dabble in music a little. So Shirley Sound Studio, that's Marty Bogspot. We're musicians, audio engineers, video editors. We do all kinds of things, and we've recently added the podcast in the last couple of years because there's a lot of value in Bitcoin, and we just go where we feel our time is getting a good return on our investment, and Bitcoin is definitely that. Music is definitely that for us. So check out Shirley Sound Studios as well, and we'll just keep watching Bitcoin. I'm going to keep these streams going a little longer, I think, in the mornings, and just keep some running time going. So let's get down into the 30-minute charts. I've been trading the 30-minute chart for scalps here because I really just find lower time frames. Like I used to always just trade 4-hour and get solid trades, but now I find entries on the 30-minute. I can find some really good entries on the 30-minute, confirm with the 4-hour or higher, and try to ride trades longer. I've been tracking more data information on my trades. So when did I get an entry? What candle was it on? How long did the trade last based on that time frame, etc., etc., and kind of get an idea based on where your entry was of how long you may be able to leave the trade in comfortably. And if you close shy, this thing hit 42K. I closed my trade, shy of that and flip-flopped around a bit yesterday. But it doesn't matter because we've been DCAing for the last, 2.5 years or 3 years or whatever it is. And life is, it's pretty good. We're not eating Wagyu steaks every night yet, but life is good, and Bitcoin has never looked better, in my opinion. So we talked about this wick coming over this pattern. If you were watching the last couple of weeks, the last couple of episodes out of the Shirley Sound Studio, we talked about this pattern. We were down here when I drew this pattern out, I think. We played it perfectly, bullish pennant. This thing broke to the upside. I talked about this big wick and likely a blow-off top happening. But I kind of changed my perspective on what was going to happen with this based on the Fibonacci chart and the SPX recovering to the 78.6% fib level, like I said. Now we have this major line of resistance Trading is just... the light covers the bottom comment. That's weird. DCA is key. You got a DCA. Trades are for fun, and you know, once you DCA, you're going to be watching the market. Once you're watching the market, you're going to, you know, be familiar with a couple of patterns. You'll become familiar with the levels that it's hitting. You know, 2-3 years into this, and I've become very comfortable with the ranges that this thing is hitting. And when I trade now, I can trade calmly with no bias. It doesn't matter. I don't generally short. Shorting for me is just selling some of my spot bag and waiting for a lower position. My intention is always to hold the same amount of Bitcoin or more. So if I short sell, technically short sell, and take profit, like I took some profit at 39.5, took some profit at 41K, but my intention is to put that back in. So I take my profit at the high prices, and then I'm going to spread that out over a couple of weeks or maybe a month or longer, depending on the amount, and dollar cost average it back in, because every dollar goes back in at a lower price than I sold it. But the idea is to hold as many sats as I possibly can. And, you know, maybe in 10 years from now, I'll buy a $10,000 car instead of a $5,000. No, just kidding. But maybe 5-10 years from now, that's really going to pay off. You know what I mean? I don't want people to think this is some sort of get-rich-quick scheme. What you need to learn how to do is dollar cost average into a market that is not a dollar, period. Let it be Apple, Tesla, Netflix, gold, silver, MicroStrategy. It doesn't matter. But you can't keep your money in the dollar anymore. The banks are like barely keeping themselves up now. And now with all these new ways of finance, and even things that aren't just crypto, just, you know, different sort of digital banks, essentially digital wallets where you can hold value out of the banking systems. Because when you go to the bank, you sign a contract that money is basically theirs. They owe it to you, but you've loaned it to them. But they can refuse it to you when you go there. And there's going to be a day when that happens. So you better hope you got some money somewhere else, right? So anyway, here we are on the 30-minute chart. And like I said, I don't personally like to trade with a lot of indicators. I like to keep it simple. I find the range, I leave with change. That's what I've been trying to say to people. Find the range, leave with change. So the only indicator that I use is this RSI. I really love this RSI. It includes a Bollinger Band. I mean, so I suppose it does have a bit of an indicator, but that's it. Just this one. So it has a Bollinger Band, and it's got a kind of a 50% EMA, I suppose, but really what I'm watching is just the levels of the RSI. So I mean, sure, I pay a bit of attention to that, but generally I'm just watching the levels. And I like to put a line at the 50% RSI as well as the 60% RSI. And these are breakout points or retest points. So here you go. We had the breakout. We've come back down. We're on the half hour, and we're retesting the 50% RSI. So I would start thinking about a trade entry, and that trade entry could be a short right now. It could be a long. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And that's what people got to get out of their heads. It doesn't matter, and Bitcoin doesn't care what you think of its price. It doesn't matter, and Bitcoin will always go up and to the right. So it doesn't matter when you trade or when you buy. You just keep on buying, and you can't lose. And if Bitcoin fails, we're going to have much bigger problems than frickin' currency. So don't worry about it. Just buy some fucking Bitcoin. How long are you going to wait? Anyway, so we're testing the 50% RSI, and to me, that, you know, we got a slightly higher wick. This is a half an hour chart, but most of these plays have been long, so I'd be looking for this RSI to hold 50% here, break this candle high, and then a possible bullish divergence is what I'd want to see above this. So I'd like to see another low higher than this low above the 50% RSI, and then I'd probably trust this thing to run back to the range, which is now $42,162, right? So twos and eights. I'm also a patterns guy, and I have just been finding the patterns in the charts and where these numbers are. So twos and eights seem to be breaking points, and to me when we, cracked 40,200, it's like, okay, 40,800. I really didn't think it was just going to pop to 42K overnight, but that's what it did. But 2s and 8s have been very solid numbers over the last 2-3 years, and I've been kind of basing where I'm going to enter close to the 200 marks and the 800 marks of the $1,000 ranges in Bitcoin, and it's been playing pretty well. Now, the support areas are in between that. They seem to be around the 600 to 560 mark, and I took that last long yesterday from 38,683 or something like that, whatever it was, and then boom, like it just went to the moon. It was awesome. So here, let's watch this candle play out. I think that's what we're going to start doing. Here's just letting these streams go, and no, I can't hear the music. Come on, you guys, we gotta have a little more music than that. Like a little bit, maybe a little bit. All right. So we're just gonna watch these things play out. Always buying Bitcoin. 64 banks got closed here in the States just this year alone. 63 banks in the United States. So Liberty and Trust, it's one of our crypto friends down in California. Maybe I shouldn't say CA. But yeah, he's, what are you saying? 63 banks closed. And, Canada's not doing much better. Like, Canada's on its last leg. So the other thing that's important to note here is that we're coming in. Oh, don't do that. Important to note here is that we're coming into a year where there's 41% of Canadian mortgages was with the Royal Bank of Canada up for renewal, right? And we're at 7.25% interest. There's no way that people are going to be able to afford their mortgages this year if they have to remortgage at 7.5%. We've curbed inflation. We've curbed inflation by 3-4% here in Canada. We've just spent a year or more sending rates up, knocking down inflation. And this is that 5 to 10 year cycles. We see a big crash every 10 years. And then things recover and they keep going up and to the right. And it's happened with every single market that you can see on TradingView. Yes, obviously things fail. Small businesses fail. Big businesses fail. It's just the way it goes, right? But you have to take a risk. You know what I mean? You can't just not live your life because somebody else failed, right? Maybe they started a business that was successful right after that. It doesn't fucking matter. Just do something. Keep moving, right? Stagnance is... you grow rust, mold, mildew, whatever you want to call it. But we're going to keep watching this here for a sec. Here's the 30-minute. I don't want to, if I'm going to start looking at trade setups and making this more of a live trading thing, which is kind of probably where it's going to go, because I don't know what else I would talk about for an hour or more. California, baby. Yeah, man. If they keep rates up, everything is fucked. They can't. That's how the market works, and they're able to keep their money up because of the way they fluctuate printing money and raising rates, right? But the only thing is that Bitcoin is deflationary. Everything else has been inflationary. It's the only thing that's ever seen, that finance has ever seen, that's a deflationary measure. So, that being said, it's only going to get more valuable and more drastic. But it doesn't matter what the price is. If it's going to be printed for 100 years, it doesn't matter what the price is, because one Bitcoin is always worth one Bitcoin. And it only seems dramatic because it's measured against something that is inflationary and going down in value. So we see an S&P 500 of a $4,500 value, and we look at Bitcoin in 10 years with 7 times that value. Right? We got to think of 160% gain into Bitcoin. Like, what is that? I don't even know the math, but that's got to be like $400 billion this year. You know what I mean? Like, I think, let's look at the market cap. I'm pretty sure that, the market cap was $1 trillion, and we're almost back at that. So let's go to CoinMarketCap for a sec, actually. CoinMarketCap. So coin market cap, if you don't know now, you know. You can kind of get an overview of the entire market, see what's going on, see the entire market of overall market of crypto and how things are doing. And we are massive greed, so that's one thing I should have looked at too. The fear and greed index right now, heavy in the greed, 75 in the greed, but you know, that doesn't mean anything yet, in my opinion. Like I said, they could still push it further, and I do think that 50k is a possibility. Bitcoin to 50k, let's go. Page unresponsive, come on now. Oh, I might have to get better internet now that I'm streaming. Anyways, doesn't matter. Pretty sure it's got to be around there. So we're up around $1 trillion again, you know, after losing 80%. So I mean, that's unfathomable amounts of money for most people. And most people are cognitive. They don't care. They don't believe in Bitcoin. They don't believe in stocks. They don't believe in whatever. And that's what they want. That's what they want. And that's why we're here, to tell you that you don't need a budget. You don't need a big budget. You just need a dollar cost average. And for me, like I trade a lot, so I'm in and out with bigger amounts in my spot bag or some leverage trades once in a while. But generally, I just DCA. And no matter what I'm doing, I've switched to daily now. So, you know, and you might think that you lose a bit in fees, but the amount that you gain in Bitcoin fucking covers the fees. We're up 160% this year. And I noticed that yesterday the fees were up a little bit on Wealthsimple, and I was like, oh man. But it's like I've had 160% gain on my savings account this year, so I shouldn't be too worried about the 2% fee that I paid yesterday. Yeah, the rich only live off borrowed money because it's tax-free. Yeah, of course. That's how it works. Yeah. And they don't teach you that. They don't teach you financial literacy. And you know, even for a guy like me, my dad's nickname was the banker. So I'm going to tell you his first name, but he was the banker. They called him Dick the Banker, whatever his name was, right? And even he didn't teach me financial literacy. My dad wrote mortgages for fucking 30 years or whatever it was. But yeah, like financial literacy is just something that's not taught, and most people are just biding their time and getting through check to check. And even somebody who worked in the financial sector for 30-40 years wasn't fully up to par with what was really going on, right? You know, the American dream is a freaking sham. The American dream is just what allows them to drive around in football field size yachts, right? The American fucking bullshit. Yeah, so here we go, 30-minute chart. So here, this is looking good. It's kind of like what I like to see. We got a bit of a structure change. You can see the selling pressure coming off. So I like to see a little bit of a low, the lower low. That's what we want to see when the buying pressure comes off, right? So we see this kind of round out. We see the buying pressure come off, and this would generally be a confirmation of the short position. And that's what a lot of people thought yesterday, and they all got licked. We went long and they all got licked. So what we want to see here is this is, you know, possibly short confirmation, but likely hide a bullish divergence in it here and potentially keep going. But like I said, I wanted to see more of a retest. I don't like when things just move too quickly. So you can see we built a bit of a 4-hour floor here in the major resistance area. But this, I'm not sure if this was enough built at the major resistance area to flip into support, and that's the worry here. So we've gone up pretty quick here. You know, honestly, a retest of 39.5 and maybe even building a little floor at 39.5 would be good, but there's not much time left in the ear, and I did expect a blow off top. So if we just, we'll see a wick possibly up to the 78.6% fib, or maybe a little bit under, because they'll just, you know, psych people out. But you know, people are becoming the exit liquidity for some, but people need to understand that people who run on these bigger time frames, and this is what I've been liking to watch lately, honestly, is the 3-month chart. And the 3-month chart this year is pretty nice. It's pretty nice. How come I can't? I'm going to get better with trading view here too. So the 3-month chart, when you zoom out, things are a little more easy to read. And it's like people want to trade the 15-minute or the half an hour or whatever. Oh, don't get me started on Rogers. Yeah, who's talking about Rogers? Rogers needs more money. Yes, truly, and get better at internet. Rogers needs more money. Rogers. I've got emails from the offices of the president of Rogers. I've been trying to sort an issue out with them for over 100 days now, and they keep offering me phones and all kinds of stuff, and just not having it. Just not having it. You can't just breach a contract and think that I'm going to take it with no Vaseline. People pay to have their duo, especially newcomers into this space. Yeah. I wish I could see that better. Stupid likes. Yeah, so 3-month chart. Things look, smooth and easy when you look at the 3-month chart, right? Bing, bang, higher high, higher low. Like, it's just a healthy trend. And we're just getting going. Like, this is the Binance chart that I've got my fibs on. So it's only goes back to 2018 or something like that, I think, whenever Binance started. But it's still a healthy chart, right? And you can see that the first 3-month candle, boom. What did I tell you? That there was going to be nothing happening for the whole, most of the middle of the year. That was, back April-ish. I was chilling. People go to their lake homes. They do all this. Then they go to their lake homes. They do whatever for the summer. They chill out and they come back and they hustle for the rest of the year. Makes sense to me, right? So we still got some room to go. So maybe that looks like the top of this previous 3-month candle, which is around 45. Well, I said 45.3 yesterday, so 45.9 at the top of this candle body here. But again, like I said, if we look at the SPX, which we've been chasing all year long, and I've been able to make some good trades. Look at that recovery. That's huge. That's massive volume on the SPX in a year. That is insane. That's insane. Wow. But 78.6. You know what I mean? So we do have a chance of that on Bitcoin. Like I said, there's no reason that we can't do the same before the end of the year. Now, there is a double top on the daily and the weekly of the SPX, so I do think that they're going to start showing some profits out here and close their 2023 books with some of the fattest gains of this century. That is for damn sure. And it's like when everyone thought the market was dead, like everyone thought finance was dead, right? And these people are making bank. And anybody who bought this year when finance was dead, any smart money who's able to buy the 3-month trend and let these things ride has not sold a single Satoshi this year. And maybe they have limits in to stop it from going and exceeding certain areas or things like that. They've got it planned, but the idea for them is to hold as much as possible too, right? And that should be the idea for everybody, is to hold as much of this stuff as possible. Stack sats. That's it. Gotta buy Christmas presents for the overprivileged kids. Yeah. My kids don't get presents. I don't do that. We're going fishing. We're going fishing on Christmas Day. Fishing on Christmas Day. Yeah. So look at this. Would you look at that? Look at that. Look at that 3-month chart. So anyway, yeah, two levels of the fib, right? So we bottomed out at 15,400, and that happened in November. I was going back. I should have got the clip up. So October 2nd, yours truly told you that $15,400 was going to be the bottom. Sure enough, it was the middle of November. We hit $15,400 to the bottom. Everyone said it was going 10, sub 10, 12K, blah, blah, blah. I told you it was going to be a bull trap all year. They told me I was crazy. And yes, I am. But I'm also right. And I don't know how right I am. We can need 1K subs before super chat so I can send money. You can send me money. You got some of my wallet addresses, don't you? Super chats. Yeah, we need 1,000 subscribers before we can monetize this channel. But this was the idea. This was the idea here where we're going to go, and do our year in the bear market. We got 2 years documented history now, and we're coming into a bull run. This was the idea. Get our channel stacked with a whole bunch of content that when we came into the next bull run, we looked like a healthy and substantial channel that was actually going to keep working and providing for you guys, right? So we've done 1 episode a week. It's been slow. The market's been boring. I really feel like we've kept you updated as much as necessary during the bear market. We told you to buy as much as possible, as often as possible. And if you did that, you're laughing. You're laughing. I'm not laughing at you if you didn't, but I'm still laughing, right? So $41,453, and I'd like to see $45,300, if not $50,111. And I love those 11s. Gotta love those 11s. Right? Liggity legs 11. Yeah, so 1K subs. So yeah, coming into the bull market here, I do believe that we're going to get a little more serious. We got set up for lives. We do feel it's worth it to do the lives now. I'm going to try and start doing this every morning. That's the goal. So we will look at trade setups. We will chill out and listen to some music, sip some coffee, maybe have a puff. Do you feel we will get one last push down flush whales ahead of funds before the halving? Absolutely. So let's go over to the weekly. Okay, so I like my long-term trades based on 3-month chart, right? Or 1-month chart at least, or my dollar cost averaging, like how heavily can I be buying and how often can I be buying and be comfortable with that. And you can see we're just now taking 60% RSI on the 3-month chart, but let's go to one that's got a bit more history. So here's a Bitstamp chart, Bitcoin versus US dollar, and the 3-month RSI is still yellow and just exceeding the 60% RSI. So I think this is the point where we'd see a high, and then this will probably take a really slow flat curve over top of the 60 right now for the next few months. But let's work our way down. Here's the monthly, is also just coming over 60%, but this is really, really healthy. What we like to see in the RSI is these slow inclines, right? This is providing a strong trend. It's not going up too quickly. It's not seeing huge spikes down or huge selling pressure to the downside, which is, what we want to see. So just exceeded the 60. Coming into December, we're just blowing over the 60 here, and you can see that the Bollinger Bands are just opening to the upside. Okay, so this means over the next few months, these are more longer projections, right? So if I land a trade on the half-an-hour chart, that trade, I'm probably not going to hold it longer than a few hours. Well, yesterday I should have went longer, but I didn't expect 42K. Still a good trade. Let's go to the weekly. Weekly RSI, okay, and now I don't even want to look at the candles. Okay, I could make trades on Bitcoin probably just watching the RSI. I wouldn't even have to look at the candles. Honestly, I trust the RSI so much. RSI is really the one thing I find that works well with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's volatility is much greater than most markets because these indicators and all these things were designed hundreds of years ago. Well, I mean, they've obviously seen updates and developments in the last 20 years, but a lot of this stuff and a lot of the systems in these indicators are designed for different volatility. Bitcoin being so new and having a 70%, 80% volatility rate is the reason that some of these indicators or some of the candles get so far away from some of these indicators, and it can make it hard to make a decision on your trade. But the RSI, you can see it is bang on, right? 40% and 45%, or sorry, 50%, 45% on this weekly has been really good. And you can see that cup and handles, they happen in the charts just the same on the RSI as they do in the candles. You can see this W, right? W pattern breaks out. I could trade Bitcoin without ever looking at the candles, just looking at this. So trust the RSI and trust the ranges. So the ranges and the candles are going to give me my best entries, but really the RSI is what you want to watch. So here's the weekly RSI, and we know that the bull run tops out at 95%. RSI. So where's 95%? The last bull run topped out at 95%. So where's 95? Alt H. Can you see that? Yeah. Purple line in there. So there's 95% RSI. We've just hit 81%, and we are still coming into this so nice and slow. I do expect a blow off top for 2023 before this thing calms down. Okay, so everyone's going to tell you that over top of 70% here is technically oversold. I want to remove that terminology from trading because nothing is oversold and nothing is overbought ever, right? It's just not how it works. These things just fluctuate. They go up, they go down, but they always expand, right? Logarithmic scales is like the cut in a record. There's only one cut and it can only expand, right? Or go inward. I don't really know if they start at the center of a record or the outside, to be honest with you, but either way, it's only one ring, and it just keeps going, right? So 70%, yeah, they'll tell you that's oversold, but it's not. To me, that's breakout territory, and sure enough, that's what's happened, right? So every time we exceed 10% on an RSI, it is way more likely to see the next 10% than it is to see the bottom. So we've exceeded 80%, which tells me we're not done. We're not done going up. The Bollinger Band on this weekly RSI is still flat. We just opened it up, right? So maybe we open it up and this weekly RSI crashes back down to 40%, 50%, 40% before the halving starts. But that's what we want to see. So what does that look like? Let's get zoomed out more on my weekly and just look at the candles now that we've looked at the RSI. Okay, so here's my yearly trend on the weekly candles, right? And here is the resistance line from the 2018 bull run top. Also the mid-level support of the previous bull run. So this is a very substantial line. This was also the retest confirmation of resistance for the breakdown and bear trend of 2022. So we just exceeded that line as we exceeded 70% RSI on the weekly chart, right? So that's breakout. Sure enough, bing, bang, boom, we are on our way to the moon. And I wasn't expecting that. I honestly thought that was going to be like, wow. Actually, no. A couple weeks ago, I did say we'd see a wick over that. But I changed my perspective this last week based on the SPX there, taking 78.6% fib. And now we have that potential overbought logarithmic. Mirroring. That's an FBI tactic. Repeating what people say, you know. I tend to do that a lot. So here we are. What is this limbo area now? We are in this mid-range. So you can see that we had two big wicks. So we've got some major resistance here right now. It was a big support before. And SNR always flips, so support resistance flips. But we've eaten some of that liquidity. We didn't quite reach the candle bottoms, which means that there's more stop losses to hunt here. I imagine people are still stacking shorts, and they stacked shorts this whole time. This whole pattern that I told you guys was going to break out. This is a bullish pennant. The shorts were stacking liquidity. So they put a big pool of liquidity above you. It's like, I don't know why, like, just because the market sentiment says it's going short doesn't mean it's going short. It's like, oh, there's $900 million worth of shorts and everyone's short and we should go short. It's like, no, like, let's wait for the reaction, because you're just providing liquidity for the people watching these larger time frames, right? Stop thinking that you're going to, I tell you, I got some real skill trading. Dollar cost averaging is way more profitable than trying to trade, right? And dollar cost averaging is going to give you that time to watch levels and where it's at, and you're going to learn where to buy more, and that's trading. Buying more at lower when you're in the dip, selling some more profit when you're at the highs, right? That's how we learn how to trade. Do it with dollar cost averaging. Don't think you're going to jump into a leverage trade and win. I personally got wrecked a whole lot. Like, I started 2020 and 2021 feeling all good and making a lot of money, but I feel like you need to get wrecked in crypto to learn that it's not just going to get you rich overnight. I feel like a lot of people have experienced that in this game, so it's just kind of the way it is. But here we are in another limbo area, is what I call it. Lots of volume traded here in this area, but if we can crack this, there's not much stopping us between here and 45 and 48K. Don't trip, buy the dip. So true. Oh, I just missed that guitar solo. My buddy Ranger plays a beautiful solo on this song. Love it. See, it's too quiet now. We need more music sometimes. I also got to make a Be Right Back scene. Got to make a Be Right Back scene so I can do other things. And maybe if we keep this live running, I wonder if I could just set it up with an indicator strategy. It would just be fun to watch. So we can keep time running. Because that's really what I'm trying to do. What are we in? We're in here 40 minutes. And that was a restart. So this one might even have more time than that. A little technical issue break. Yeah, hour and 46. Wow, what time is it? Yeah, look at that. No, we're an hour in. Why did it say an hour and 46? That's strange. Yeah. 1 minute chart. Check the VRVP. Check the VRVP. No. This is what I like. I don't want to get into too much of that. Like I said, I want to do me, and not that I don't care about the audience, but I'm going to share what works for me. I find when I personally overflood the chart with indicators that I get distracted, and it gives me too many things to think about before executing a trade. Like I said, I feel like I could trade Bitcoin without the candles. I feel like I could trade Bitcoin just with RSI. No problem, right? But we obviously look at candles. We're going to look at the candles. The candles are pretty. The candles are fun. They go up, they go down. It's like a roller coaster, right? But yeah, I like... See you tomorrow. Stephanie Longstaff, thanks for coming in. This is one of our bigger supporters. Thank you very much. Have yourself a lovely day. We'll see you tomorrow. Need 1K subs. Yeah, and so like the only way we're going to get 1K subs is probably if we start marketing this thing, and I think we will if we can get some live history in before now in the halving. We had crypto's biggest influencer. It's funny because like I don't people, and the reason I make content is because I find it hard to consume other people's content, right? So I'm kind of consuming content by just creating it myself. I don't really want to be, I don't know, and I'm weird like that. Like my brain is different. I don't need to go in too much of that or whatever. But I don't want to do what other people are doing. I don't want to follow anyone else's formula. I don't care, right? I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to find ranges. I'm going to watch the RSI. I'm going to keep you updated on the narrative of what's really going on, because facts are facts, and they're found when you follow the money. Nothing else. You can go and rant and rate in the streets all you want. Here we are pumping again. 41,629, 41,69. Here we. Oh yeah, sorry. I went down to the 1 minute chart to make this more exciting, but I'm still just rambling here. 1 minute chart. Let's see what this bitch is doing. There we go. Okay, so like I said, here's another great example of how this works on the RSI. Okay, so I want to wait for the selling pressure to come off, and what I'm watching for there is the wicks to die down. And like I said yesterday's stream, I want to enter on solid candle bottoms. So indication of bottom, selling pressure coming off, triple bottom, higher lows in the RSI, higher highs, and you can see it bottomed out, hit 60, tested 40, retested 50, 60, 40. You know what I mean? Like, you can trade just the RSI. Here's a perfect example. The 1 minute chart taking it, and there was a long position, right? You can trade with just the RSI. So learn to trust the range, learn to trust the RSI. And when I look at the candles, the only thing I'm looking for is a solid body candle bottom to confirm my entry. Solid bottoms. I like a solid bottom. I don't want loose bottom. I don't want old loose bottom over here. Lazy loose bottom. I want tight bottom, right? Tight bottom's always better than loose bottom. Works on all time frames. Of course it does. But yeah, it's a good example of that was a nice long position. If you're scalping the 1 minute chart, that was a beautiful long position, right? So that's 41,000. And there's the twos. There's a pattern again. $41,200 was the entry, right? And so that means this thing's going to test $41,800. And if it exceeds $41,800, we're probably going to go back to $40,200. And if it exceeds $40,000, I'm going to say $40,500, then I almost guarantee that this thing sees $43,200 today. We'll see. They might wait until Tuesday. Mondays, I thought they could be a dump after such a weekend pump, but it's not. You know, a retest there of 41.3 is nice to see. At least, like I said, I would have rather see a floor, bigger floor at 39.5 or 40,000 there. But what do you do? Yeah, solid candle bodies. Yeah, for sure. Look at this. Like if we zoom out the 1 minute here, you can. Oh man. You can see, right? So that selling pressure came off. Oh, closer to the mic here. That selling pressure, or sorry, the buying pressure came off. You can start to see it round out. You get that one last top, right? And then there's your indication of bottom. We want to wait for that, the first loose bottom, and that first loose bottom is generally going to be underneath 30% RSI. Second loose bottom, solid candle body bottom with the little bullish divergence, and that's boom, that's the entry. So what you want to see is the lower low, higher low in the RSI, and right here is going to be the higher low and a lower low, so opposite the RSI, right? And that would have been a good trade, and that's exactly what I took on the 30-minute last night, yesterday. To take me up in over 40K there. $41,500. Yeah, man. Still things still look good. Bit of a delay on the chat. Trying to figure out how long this delay is just by watching. It's not too bad. Maybe 2-3 minutes. 2-3 minutes. That seems like it's too long. See how long that circle takes to come up. How long is this delay? Oh yeah, the money printer is always going to be ripping during the election years. That's the other thing too. Like it, whew, man, this is the first time the money printer's been off in Bitcoin's existence. I mean, it's on right now, but last year was the first time that the money printers ever been off. Oh, there you go. There's that circle just showed up, and it's also, it looks like a bit of a structure change, but to me, it looks like it's just confirming that it's going to keep going here. Sending, oh, got some notifications coming up here. What is this? Open the chat. Sending this. Huh. One. Oh, that wasn't too bad, actually. The chat delay is pretty quick, but the video delay is a little more. Decent. Yeah, look at that. Let's get zoomed in there. It's a beautiful little circle I just threw in there. Is this thing going to come down? And like, I don't know. This is, 1 minute chart is exciting, but like I said, I don't like the 1 minute chart because it's a lot. I mean, unless you're in and out scalping, but I'm just don't want to rush that much. I'm getting old. And Just like a nice leisurely pace. Because you can see that move already right there. So like I said, on the half-hour chart, I took an entry just like this, looked just like this setup yesterday on the half-hour chart, and I stayed in it for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. So this on the 1 minute chart, you know, that lasted, yeah, what is that? 20, 25 minutes? I'm not counting those candles. I'm just not. Money printers definitely will rip during the elections. That is for sure. There we go. Let's go green. Yeah. So yeah, from the bottom, and that move right there from those candles, that already went from 20% RSI to 80% RSI. Beautiful move, right? And you can see when it spikes out fast, it's always going to drop out fast. So when we go over to the weekly, you know, well, I guess if we're zoomed in on the weekly, you can see it spikes out like this. But you can also see that it's very capable of getting well above where we are right now, right? Bull run high is 95% in 2021. Bull run high 2018-ish was 90%. We just exceeded 80% here, and with no sign of slowing down. So like I said, you know, I was targeting 84 to 85% for this move, and we are at 81% right now, you know. It's a pretty good move. It's a pretty good move, huh? So like I said, the narrative is how they help execute the plan, right? And the narrative is always, and I can't really figure it out if it's like delayed or if they give it to you late or if they give it to you early. It's kind of something like that. Like I mean, it's strange to me how I see it, but I feel like I'm viewing it from an outside perspective, and not just trying to be narrow in like a shorter time frame chart kind of deal, you know. And my one thing now that tells me the top is near is that we see the CEO of like BlackRock and Vanguard and these major financial institutions and firms and things like that now giving you the super hype of Bitcoin. Okay, so let's go back to the 3-month chart actually and look at the candles. Let's look at the candles on the old 3-monthster. So this kind of money, right? This kind of money, this is the kind of money like that Bitcoin didn't see in 3-month candles since the beginning, right? This is big money. This is people like the CEOs of BlackRock and Vanguard starting to realize that Bitcoin is more valuable than the scam they've been running on people, right? And they're going to play it, and they're going to wait. They're not selling, they're accumulating, and they're accumulating in these pockets here, right? While you're all taking profits, they're just buying it up. They've got so much money that it doesn't matter. They're not selling. They don't need to sell. They're not going to sell, right? Because Bitcoin ain't going anywhere except for here. But yeah, so now we're seeing this. It's whale money. And there's nothing we can do about it. So I mean, it's not even really worth it to sell. So it's not worth it to put in more money than you can afford to put in. That's why we just dollar cost average. You dollar cost average, you have a savings account that goes up on average 100% a year. And if you're lucky to be in 2023, your savings account went up 160%. You can't beat that. And it's weird how cognitive people get about it. It's like, I know you don't trust the government. You don't trust the government, you don't trust the bank, and you know that the dollar is losing value. But you can't even fathom that there's somewhere that you could be putting your dollars that does have value for you and your family. Because you've been lied to for so long, you've been fucked over for so long, that you don't actually believe there's something out there you can trust your value in. And I do believe that Bitcoin is that. So keep providing liquidity or keep your money out, because all you're doing is keeping the prices lower for the rest of us, you know. But these guys are driving it out of reach, and they're doing it 10K at a time, right? And the only way to slow them down on that is to stop consuming bullshit and buy fucking Bitcoin. One bag of groceries is $100. No, dude, get this. Save on. So we're in Canada, so the money's a bit different. But $50, it came to $51 with tax. I got a gallon of milk, a thing of buns for some venison burgers that I made last night, a box of Shreddies, and a thing of maple syrup. Now, maple syrup is expensive. I'll give you that. But I use it instead of sugar. But it comes out of our fucking trees, and we have vats and vats and vats full of maple syrup here in Canada. And it makes me want to punch Trudeau in the face. 4 items cost me $50 yesterday. That's fucking wild. That's wild. It's half a tank of gas. And that shouldn't even cost me that much money. We don't even refine any products here. We're the least productive company company. Yeah, we are a company. Canada's a company. We're the least productive country with the most amount of fucking resources, and we don't do shit with them. We're trying to make money off housing, but all we've done is screw everybody, and we don't even build enough fucking houses. Joke. 13 years of Bitcoin in the books. I'm about to wrap this one up today. I think we're hour and 12 in. That's pretty good. I don't know. I'm going to have to get used to just rambling to myself every morning. Seems I did all right today. Each one's going to get a little better, I think. So, yeah. Thanks for coming in. Do the things. Do the things that you know you should do if you found value in this content. I don't like doing the self-serving BS. Like I said, I am not going to be like anybody else on YouTube, and I'm not going to speak with the same fucking tone of voice that everyone speaks with on YouTube and wave my hands around and tell you to smash things or whatever. We got Marty the moderator in the chat. Help us out. But if you find value in this content, support us in any way you feel you can, and that would be great. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Go fuck yourself. Bye.